Hello
And welcome.
to the Minimum Wage Podcast,
Where even the name is above our pay grade.
Today we're joined again by my brother.
Dane.
What's up, brother?
What's up?
Yeah, dude, happy to have you on the pod. It's been a
Thank
minute,
you,
huh?
thank you. Yeah.
Welcome back.
has
Welcome
been.
back.
Dude, and
I mean,
actually,
how long has it really been?
dude, probably 3 months now, at least.
I feel like a
When did we
lot
have
has
you on?
happened though.
I was going to say, yeah,
a
a
lot
lot
has
has happened for sure.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
got a
in
new
my life, at
job?
least. Yeah, new job.
Yeah, so what's
full
up?
time. So working full time, making money, trying to get the new iPhone. You know.
Dude, tell us a little bit about that, because this is a conversion story.
He's about to say we got the
Okay,
conversion
so-
story.
Yes.
So I started out with Apple, if you remember, way
Ooh.
back in the day with the iPod Touch.
Oh,
iPod
that was your
Touch.
first ever, like, device like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. And then I got the phone, the flip phone. And from then on, I got an Apple phone. Was the first iPhone that I got.
Okay.
I want to say that was like a 5 or a 5S, something like that.
Yes. No, I remember it was a 5S because I got it later on down the road.
Yep. And
I
then
inherited
moving
the
on
5S.
from that,
They
I got
inherited
the Note 8.
phones.
And I ran the Note 8 for years, since last year when they just changed all the towers over. And I was forced to change phones.
Whoa. For real.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
was the
yeah.
issue there? What was
so
your phone
the
running?
Note 8 didn't have the chip or something like that to work on the new towers, and so AT&T just shipped me a free phone.
So the
That's
phone that
nice.
you got is literally a free phone?
It is a free phone, yes.
He's got the free phone right now.
That's actually crazy.
But I mean, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And I didn't pay anything, so.
So you think, do you think having a horrible experience with this crappy $0 Android phone has converted you back to Apple?
So, it's definitely not a horrible experience that you're talking about. I mean, the phone works. It's functional. It does the job, and like everything's responsive. It's not like mom's phone where it was skipping.
Okay.
You know, where like you got to change screens. You're on the home screen, you flip it over, and it takes like half a minute to switch over to the
Yeah.
next screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is actually like a decent working phone. I'm just wanting an Apple upgrade.
Okay.
I figure it's been long enough. Our group chat in the family has got like, what, the green circles? Is that what it is?
The green bubbles, yeah.
green bubbles.
Yeah.
And like those always get messed up. Group chats are probably one of the biggest problems.
Yeah, because you
with
can't
Android
add
phones.
or remove people if it's
Yeah.
a mixed chat.
Oh, it's so dumb. I hate it so much.
And it's like,
Honestly, well, really, that's the antiquated. This is like a whole side tangent, but SMS is like the protocol for messaging between devices.
Mhm.
So like it's like telecommunications messaging.
Yeah.
So like through cell towers basically. And it's a horrible protocol. It's super old and they haven't really updated it at all. So you can only send like super small
Well, no,
files.
no. That's not true.
They have updated
They have
it?
updated it. Apple refuses to use that.
No
they
way.
have iMessage for that.
They refuse to use the updated SMS?
Yeah,
I believe it.
That's
Yeah.
wild, actually.
I
Yeah.
believe that.
Yep.
But that makes perfect sense, though,
Yeah.
because they've got a market with iMessage where
Yeah.
when people have iMessage group chats, they can all have their little face, what are they called? Animojis or whatever.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Yeah.
I gotta have my
I mean,
emoji.
the Apple exclusive things really make it worth it,
yeah.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So, well, tell us
So one of the
your-
biggest things holding me back from going to Apple was the cable connection, and I've always had a headphone port, which
Yeah.
going into the new phone I obviously will not have. I'm planning to get the 15 when it comes out because it'll have USB-C.
USB-C. Are you gonna go with
USB-C.
Pro? or
Probably.
not? Yeah, okay,
I'm probably
good.
gonna get the Pro Max or something
Oh, the
like
big
that.
and big one?
Yeah, the big one. Yeah.
the
That
big,
one
big
is
boy.
rumored to have a nice little camera upgrade too.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
not
The
not
Max-
a small upgrade at all.
No.
The Max will have an upgrade from the Pro?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So you'll be getting top of the line.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Incredible.
So that's a really big thing for me, because anyone that has been interacting with me recently knows I just shattered my camera.
So you literally can't even take pictures on the back camera, right?
It works. You can take pictures, but they're about as fuzzy as they can be.
They're about as fuzzy as that.
It looks like my vision without glasses.
No, that's the last thing we want. Oh my.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
horrible.
rough. And I mean that is the Android camera. The Android cameras always have been worse compared to Apple cameras.
Yeah. Well, that's like, I think really just a lot of that has to do with the neural network processing that goes into your photos post taking the image.
Mm-hmm.
So like on Android cameras, it's just like they have great cameras and then they do like nothing to the image, right? Maybe a little bit. Nowadays they do a lot of
well,
bit.
there's
almost all
slight
new
image
phones
stabilization.
have something.
Yeah, all new
If you're
phones
looking
have something.
for a non-Apple phone that like does that significantly, like you can buy a Pixel,
Yeah.
which I believe those do a fair amount of post-processing, but they also come with their issues.
Well, I mean, one of the biggest features of the Pixel was the camera.
Right.
Yeah.
Except even then, it was like just about as good as the iPhone, and it really only like beats it out in like high zoom,
Yeah.
Stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the high zoom
Yeah.
stuff is super cool to me though.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So I've got a friend of mine, Colin. He was on the pod actually, who has a S23 Ultra, I want to say, and that he has 100 times zoom on that camera.
Well, that's because they just go digital.
It's ridiculous, dude. It's actually crazy. But he'll zoom in. So he's got a lake house, and he'll be up at the lake house sometimes on the sailboat because for his birthday, he got a sailboat. And he'll be on the sailboat, and he'll wonder what another boat, like across the lake, is.
Mm-hmm.
He'll literally zoom in on it. There was one time we were out there. He saw a boat. He spotted it, and it was like a little speck on the horizon. He pulled out his camera. It was like super, super steady. Because when you shake any amount out there, you got to be super steady. It would be game over.
Have some surgeon hands.
So he zooms all the way in. And he's like, "Oh, that's my neighbor's boat." I'm like, "What? You know that?"
That's
And then I was looking at it too on his screen, and you can sure enough see his neighbor straight jaunting around the boat, like doing different things on the top of the boat. I'm
That's
like,
wild.
"What? That is crazy, dude."
Yeah.
But stuff like that, like that's super cool to me. But that's a feature that's like super niche, I would say.
But
like
then you have Apple, which on their most recent iPhone has the 48 like megapixel, like camera sensor, which they use software to then convert it, if you want to, into a 12 megapixel by like grouping up the pixels for like higher quality pixels and then like bigger pixels that capture more light. But it's like 12 megapixel and zoomed, but it's also just two like camera modes, but with one sensor.
What is a megapixel?
1,000 pixels?
It's like it's
Yeah, I don't know.
it's just like I don't know. Megapixels don't translate directly to the quality of the camera, but the more like megapixels you have, it's like the more individual points you have on your thing to capture light.
Yeah, I was gonna say the way I think about it is like the higher the megapixels, the more light you're able to capture.
Yeah.
So you can get like 128 megapixel and have like a night vision camera, pretty much.
Well, a night vision camera also needs to be able to see different types of light.
There's a lot more going on with a night vision camera. That's super simplified.
All right, going back to the topic at hand here, the Apple versus Android cameras.
Yes.
I think one of the biggest shortfalls of Android cameras has always been its image stabilization. So when you take a picture and you're moving, if I take a picture on my phone, it will be blurry if I'm moving. No
Really?
matter what I do, even if I'm just moving a little bit, it'll catch that and it'll be blurry.
Really?
Yeah.
So you
Interesting.
have to just sit there the entire time.
You have to be very still.
I'd
Wow.
say one of the biggest problems with Apple's cameras is the lack of just options in the camera app. I feel I feel like if we just had more.
You can't customize really
If we
anything.
just had more options in the camera app, then I think it'd be just like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And
Now
you
because
can.
they want you to take that picture and move it to their proprietary Apple picture software.
Yeah, but like, there are certain things that you want to adjust when you're taking the picture. 'Cause like, you can take your pictures in Apple ProRAW, but there's still some stuff you want to adjust. Like, I love taking pictures in ProRAW because they're just madness. They're just stupid. You take one picture, it's 90 megabytes. You know, because it's just capturing ridiculous amounts of light. It just saves it all. It's like, here, would you like to work with this later? Now, obviously, you're like in product isn't going to be that ProRAW picture. You take the ProRAW and then you edit it and then you make a 2.5 megabyte picture out of that.
Yeah, that looks insane.
Yeah, that just looks insane.
Yeah.
And then there's ProRes, which is madness.
Ridiculous.
I don't even know why it looks so good. It just does. It's like the best 1080 you can ever get. It like you can't have HD 1080 better.
Really? In your eyes?
I've yet to see it.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
it should. What resolution is the Apple screen? The highest spec one.
4K.
4K.
Yeah.
On the phone?
Yeah.
So is that 4,000 pixels per like square inch or something?
21. No, it's like a measurement. It's like these are going to be inaccurate because it's a phone, which is a different aspect ratio. But typically, 4K is like 3840 by 2160.
Okay, so
and so
then
that's like
it just
4K
takes that and shrinks it down to the phone.
Yeah, and so it's like
size.
it's like 3176 or some like odd number like that. But it is 4K. As much as 4K can get.
Yeah. It's super interesting math. Like the calculation
Because
for that
has to do with your actual like because a 4K phone and a 4K TV are very different because the pixels on your like 4K TV might only give you an HD phone.
True.
You know, because they're bigger.
Yeah.
So because you have a bigger area, that's the 4K resolution.
The pixels themselves are bigger.
bigger.
They're just physically larger than on the phone. Whereas like with the phone you can see so close.
Yeah.
They literally have to be like minuscule.
Yeah. What like looking at the size
How do they make a
the
touch
LEDs.
screen?
Touch screen?
Yeah.
So you have
Like how does it
things
actually
underneath
pick up the touch?
electricity?
Electricity?
Yeah. It's
So-
well like your body conducts electricity,
Yeah.
you know, and just has like latent electricity, I guess we're just going to call it because this isn't, you know, proper science here.
This is a podcast.
This
people.
isn't proper science. I ain't got no manuals in front of me or nothing. But so there's
So is it just
multiple
it
different types of touch,
disrupts
actually.
the electrical charge?
There's- I might get this wrong, but I actually have been looking a lot into this because a couple of my projects I planned on using touchscreens. I don't know if I will, but there's resistive, which measure the resistance across the screen in various places, and like different screens have different amount of like touch points, which is the maximum amount of like touch points it can handle, and like most modern phones, you know, have like crazy amounts of touch points. You know, we can do 6, which is like even you need 6 touch points for. But and then there's capacitive, which measures, I think, capacitance. Or is it pressure? I don't know which one that one is, but something.
Pressure is interesting.
So there's one that I saw. I don't know if this is how they still make them, but it's a mesh. If you imagine a mesh on top of a screen, it's the gridded mesh. So you have points where you click in to the screen and it goes through this mesh. So that's how you have like the glass over top of this responsive touchpad. Because it, rather than like actually being pure just glass, it's like weaves of glass, essentially. It's like a grid pattern of glass. And so when you're pressing down, you're bending the grid down to where your finger is pressing on the actual screen. So it's still like that glass face. It looks like that. And it's like such a minor amount that it doesn't feel like you're pressing down into it, but that's how it's responding. So like the area where you press down is getting depressed, and that grid is going down into the touchpad below.
That's not all touchscreens though.
What is that? What is that like?
I think that would
Style.
be a capacitive or whatever. I think it's something like that.
Okay.
And then because I think there's like two main types of capacitive and resistive, but I don't really properly know. But I know it has something to do
Dude,
with
What
reading.
are the chances?
electrical
The
signals.
one that we don't have James for, dude.
The
we
one
need
don't-
James
Oh,
so
no, James,
bad
we're
today,
sitting
for
here just
real.
kind of just yapping.
Oh my gosh, dude, we're just yapping. That's like there's been multiple points in this pod when I've been like, man, I wish we had James to
Yeah.
fact check, dude.
Yeah.
It's
But speaking
so
of
bad.
screens, what do you think about the Apple headset?
Have you seen it? The one that they just released?
Yeah.
No. What is this?
The Vision Pro is
Yeah.
what they call
The
it.
Vision Pro.
The Vision Pro.
Can you pull up a picture for it?
Yes. Yeah, we can.
So it's a like spatial computing device is what they called it.
Spatial computing. Isn't that just like
the reason
Dolby
is-
surround?
And the reason is because it's like a mix of like VR, AR, XR. You know, it's just everything. So they just combined all of them into one word.
Wait, it's got VR. You said?
Yeah,
That's what
virtual
it is.
reality, augmented reality.
Oh, I hate that.
That's somebody wearing it.
It's
right
literally the Ready Player One headset.
there. Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, we're gonna have to like.
There it is.
Yeah, this is very interesting
What
for
that
someone
drop
who's
with
listening on
a
audio.
$2,000 price tag? Is that what it is?
No, sir.
Yeah, tell them the price tag.
3,500.
3,000.
Yeah. Yeah, it's up there, boy.
Yeah, it's
But
up there.
also, when you think about the capabilities that it's going to have in the future,
But all,
like just as a developer personally,
just look at the
I
hardware
can't wait
first.
to develop for it.
Like,
Like legitimately, it's going to be fun.
just look at the hardware.
Also, one thing that's crazy is you can port Unity applications straight over to it. So this is a little nerd talk, but if you make an application in Unity, like a lot of people do that just for regular VR.
Mhm.
Like they may have their Oculus headset, they're building a simulation. We do this in the research labs at our school where people are building simulations for different things, and they build it in Unity because they've got
Mhm.
all these graphics libraries and different things like that.
Right.
So you can port that straight over to the Vision Pro and do zero extra work. So literally, I can anticipate my school literally buying like 5 of these for the
Oh,
research
that would be
lab.
lit.
That would be so lit.
That would be
but
so
like, I
lit.
can actually imagine that because
That would be awesome.
it's got so much capability that really no other headset that we have has.
Yeah.
And also the hand tracking stuff that it's able to do, no doubt, it's far better at
Yeah.
the use cases that we're thinking about in the research lab than anything we have right now.
Yeah.
So I don't see why we wouldn't buy a couple of them.
100% English.
I will say though, on the VR standpoint, VR fell off like a couple years ago. You know,
I don't know if that's necessarily true because
it's had a very slow uptick in comparison with like
yeah,
Right.
very very true. So the thing about VR is it's got the potential to completely change the way that we do things
I
in
wouldn't
our
say-
daily life, same as the iPhone. So like
mainly just
I've
augmented,
been
but-
looking a lot into like the similarities of the release of the Vision Pro and the similarities of the release of different groundbreaking Apple products like the iPhone or the iPad. And absolutely there's a gamble to be made whenever you're doing something like that. But Apple is positioning themselves right now for this headset to be the future. So essentially, like they are putting a lot of their eggs in the basket that is VR and AR. They think that that's just the natural progression of things into the future. And they're probably right.
Now.
It's just a more immersive experience, which is what people are looking for.
Dude, I will just say this on the record. I don't think anybody's going to be walking around in broad daylight wearing that thing.
That's what everyone said about AirPods, dude. and then people walk around
Nah,
everywhere with
AirPods is a different deal, dude.
How, dude?
Hang on. I don't doubt that this version of this thing, people aren't just going to be walking down Broad Street with.
Yeah.
But they are already working on a non-pro version and an ultra version. So there is a version of this that is smaller, more simple, coming out, and there's also a more complicated version.
Good Lord. How much is the more complicated version?
Well, here's the thing. So obviously, I
Is
don't
it worth it?
I want this
I don't know
headset.
how much it is.
I don't want to spend $3,500.
Yeah.
But instead of just complaining about the price, I kind of thought about it, and I was like, how much does it cost to build one of these things? So you take into account that they've been building this for 4 or 5 years. It's a lot of development time that you got to make up for.
They probably thought about doing this 10 years ago.
Now let's think about the hardware. Based off the M2 chip. That's not a cheap chip. $300, $400 off the bat. There was a lot of research that goes into that. The actual machines that make those chips are expensive, and the manufacturing process is expensive.
Yeah.
They had to make a new chip, R1. They had to make machines to make that chip. They have to make that chip. They had to pay people to design that chip, to handle the input of 12 cameras, like eight microphones, and a bunch of other crazy nonsense all at once at extremely low power.
Mm-hmm.
To run on a headset, and low heat as well, because I don't think it uses active. Apple doesn't use active cooling at all for like anything.
That's not their thing at all.
And then the actual device like structure itself, I believe aluminum, or it was either stainless steel or aluminum, but whatever it is, it's a lot more expensive to carve that stuff than it is to just slap a plastic, shell around something. The motherboard inside is curved. Whoa.
That's insane, actually.
The two screens are both 4K. They're like an inch each, and they're 4K. Those are the highest quality, smallest screens like ever.
That's
It
insane.
doesn't get higher quality. The size of those pixels are microscopic.
Yeah.
So each of those screens in and of themselves have got to be $300-$400.
That's wild.
Curved glass front, multiple layers.
But what's the profit margin?
A custom focal. That's the thing. I don't think there is a big profit margin at first.
Yeah.
Because
Thinking
looking
about
at
it
the
now,
prices, you just keep adding on more and more stuff. All the
we haven't even
straps
talked
and
about
bands.
the cameras yet.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about adding in the price of the cameras. There are 12 of them on the outside, and I believe 4 of them on the inside for each eye or something like that. So
yeah, that's a ridiculous
And then the
number.
audio pods, which are like the audio drivers of the like AirPods Max, but it uses bone induction, so it's not like covering your ear. Hopefully they come out with a bone induction headset. That would be cool.
That would be insane.
Bone induction headset, Apple, please do that.
Please do that, Apple.
But yeah, it's not cheap. It doesn't have a internal battery.
You got Dane over there
'Cause you don't have the
rethinking his
size.
entire plan.
I'm just thinking that this is all a lot better tech than that Logitech
But
PS3 controller.
but
Oh
then
no!
but then we'll get to that in just
Too
a second.
soon. Too
We'll get to
soon.
that. We'll get to that in just a second. But then I just saw that a new company is coming out with a headset, and that company is Meta, and their new headset is only $400, something bucks. It's like about $500.
Yeah.
And then I thought about why they're doing that. Because obviously they ain't trying to make the money off the headset. They're making the money off all the data they're collecting off your headset for you having that Meta account too. All that advertising data they're gonna sell, all the margins they're making off the apps you sell. All that juice.
At the end of the day, Facebook is just a massive data.
They're an
capitalizing
advertising
on the
thing.
cheap Apple customers.
Apple, because they do the privacy and because they do all these things and because they're not making the money off the advertisements, they're making money off their sales in the App Store, which that's a whole nother topic. We can talk for years about how much money you should be able to charge for in-app purchases, and should you be able to charge any? Well, I mean, you should be able to
And
charge
should Apple
something.
be taking 30%?
Should Apple be taking
Yeah.
30%? That's quite a percentage, buddy. I mean, 20 is a little more reasonable.
Yeah. And 10's even more reasonable than that.
Yeah, you know.
Because there are services, there are platforms all over the internet, like Steam. What percentage do they take? Very minor.
Nah,
Right,
it's
dude,
literally
you got to think about this differently.
less than
Apple has a
5%.
valuable product.
Yeah.
The App Store?
Yeah.
No, the
No,
iPhone.
their phones.
Yeah.
The iPad,
Their iPads.
Mac.
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
Having
then-
your software on
And
there
and
is
they're
probably a
trying to
privilege
keep it
them.
exclusive. If they don't charge a 30% fee, put your stuff on the App Store, anybody could just post anything.
Well, they charge $99 to put a single app on the App Store, actually.
Really?
Yeah, so the publisher has to pay $99 every single app.
$99
makes sense
plus
because
the
it
30%.
probably has to be reviewed.
No, so the 30% is for
Is
an
it?
in-app purchase. So say I,
In-app
for
purchases
instance,
only?
say I buy something on Clash of Clans. Apple would get 30% of that money. Supercell, the developer of Clash of Clans,
Wow.
will get the other 70.
So are in-app purchases for Apple phones normally more expensive?
Usually not.
No, I think they're just
No.
average. I think they're probably the same on both platforms. The difference is
Y'all
developers
Apple
are getting
fools
less.
are driving up my costs. not really.
You're about to be one of those, buddy, driving up the
Not
cost
really,
yourself.
though.
Oh my gosh.
No, I
We're
don't.
driving up that
I
cost.
don't
But
usually
what's
get all
interesting
those.
to me is that you got. Well, tell them what you got first. What was
so
your
the
first
AirPods
item?
were the first thing.
The first thing. What's the second
Yep.
thing?
So the second thing's gonna be the Apple Watch, and
Wait,
I was
You're gonna get an Apple Watch
It-
before the iPhone.
yeah for
you
sure
know
because
how
I have to wait
incredibly-
until September comes.
Do you
for
know
the
you cannot
iPhone.
use an Apple Watch without an iPhone?
Can you really not?
You cannot. You cannot even pair it without an iPhone.
I find
it
that
only
hard to
pairs
believe.
to iPhones. It only pairs to iPhones, buddy.
Then how come AirPods work with my phone?
Because that's just basic Bluetooth.
I mean,
It's-
that's my Samsung Watch.
It
works
uses
with
okay.
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth audio is like a standard communication feature, and there are some AirPod things that don't work with Android.
Hmm.
But trust me, don't buy an Apple Watch and try to use it with your
I
Android
mean, I would have to
phone,
look it up first.
because you will find it doesn't work.
I'm actually very surprised. I'm
It
very
doesn't-
surprised by this.
It doesn't work.
Yeah,
Trust me.
that'd be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'cause
imagine buying the Apple Watch. Also, Dane was thinking about getting the Ultra, which, first of all, that's insane. That's
I am very
Ultra's
very
really
much
cool.
contemplating getting the Ultra.
and you're talking about the price of, now granted, the Ultra isn't extremely overpriced either. It is. I mean, they're definitely making a profit off that. Don't get me wrong.
It's what, $800?
They're making a lot. I will say they're making a lot more profit off that watch than they are off the headset.
Think so?
Because the amount of new machines they had to build
That's true.
for the
That's true.
manufacturing of that, whereas that is just, now granted, they also probably had to adapt their machines for building the watch, probably because it is a bigger chassis and it uses
And also
nicer
the
material.
consumer base. The
Yeah.
watch has a much larger consumer base than
Right, and they already had a bunch of the manufacturing stuff, and they didn't have to redesign a whole new product.
It's
Yeah.
not
A whole
like
new
they weren't
product
already
category.
making watches.
Yeah.
It's just a different
Yeah.
watch.
As a matter
I
of
mean,
fact,
it's
it's
going
like
to be
the
a
ninth
while
watch.
before those
Yeah.
headsets actually earn Apple anything.
No, and
Yeah,
I'm sure they will eventually.
This is
earn the
really a
money,
proof
yeah.
of concept more than anything. Just
And it's not.
and also for developers to get their hands on
It's
the product.
targeted to developers and businesses. It's not necessarily a consumer product, because apparently they are working on the more consumer-friendly product, but they kind of just wanted to,
Yeah.
Mm.
build like the best thing.
What I
And it
really
definitely
can't
is
wait
a luxury, the best expensive
for.
item.
Really, what I'm looking forward to is being able to have basically like my workstation. Like, I've got my laptop, and then in that room I've got my standing desk, and then another monitor. I would love to have my workstation be anywhere where I'm at. I can have 2 monitors, maybe even 3 monitors, and I can just do what I'm doing, like edit
Or-
videos,
or
whatever I'm doing.
10 monitors in 3 dimensions.
What, you think about
Yeah.
making that desk into like a mobile workstation?
No, if you
No,
have
no,
the
no.
headset, you can
With
go
your
anywhere.
headset.
Yeah, the headset.
You can have multiple 4K displays, and it tracks your eyes.
So
and adapts to
the
things.
question then
That's
that
crazy.
follows is, how long are you guys going to wait before you actually buy in on it?
It depends on how much I'm making.
Yeah, because realistically, I could definitely buy it in like a year and a half if I want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, I don't know if that'll be like my biggest goal
Yeah.
to buy the Apple Vision Pro headset.
There are nicer things to do than buying an
Yeah.
Apple Vision Pro.
There are
It is
other
really
things
cool.
that I would love
A
to
year and a
invest in.
half
Like, don't
is
get me wrong.
long enough to determine whether or not this is going to be a flop.
Like, I'm definitely
Yeah, I
going to
think
test
that's
it
fair.
out at the Apple Store. Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong at all.
100%.
Yeah.
Best believe I'm going to be there.
I think all the people that are buying it right now, though, are taking a huge risk.
No one's. Well, yeah. Well, people have been able to try it though. People have gotten hands on with it, and so you can listen to their testimony about their experiences with it and how like they can say how it compares to other products.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that for anything, though. People
Yeah.
always try it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
We'll just have to see because it doesn't come
Obviously, they
out
have focus
till
groups and stuff
early
like
next
that.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's cool. But so
All right, let's
back to
talk
what
about the-
PlayStation. yeah.
PlayStation.
Let's
2
talk about the
controller.
PlayStation 2 controller. Done.
Was it
Oh,
two or
three?
three?
Oh, I thought it was.
I thought it was
I
a
thought it was
3.
two.
It
No,
was
I
two.
thought it
That's
was a
even
3.
worse.
Because look, what I saw was it looked like the doggone 2, the wired PlayStation 2
No,
controller.
no, there's
Dude,
no way.
That belongs in
Yes.
the museum.
They weren't doing Bluetooth.
No, it was
Apparently-
Bluetooth. 100% it was Bluetooth.
It was a Bluetooth controller.
Wait, why would you do
It
that?
was a Logitech Bluetooth.
Why would you do Bluetooth?
It's horrible.
Dude, I don't know.
Input lag, stick drift. What's next?
No, I mean-
Dead batteries.
That's horrible.
So
Oh.
here's the thing. They said that they lost contact with
Oh.
it during the descent, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That could have easily been stick got stuck.
Stick stuck. Stick gets stuck. Stick
Stick
drift.
got
Oh, it's
stuck.
just. It could have been
Oh my
anything.
God.
Well,
You know, all of a sudden they just got it down and it just goes haywire because Bluetooth.
No,
starts
look,
losing
all of a
connection.
sudden they tried to
Apparently it has
unplug
problems.
it. It wasn't working. They unplugged it and blew on it. And then when they plugged it back in, it didn't reconnect. Oh my
Sounded
god! They had to
kinda
reboot the
lost.
system, but by that point,
That's horrible.
oh man,
Look, Titanic's taking more lives.
dude, yeah, I saw this meme and it said "Rich people 0, Titanic 2." I was
True,
like, dude,
true.
that's so rough.
round 3,
Yeah.
anyone?
But the bottom line is like, how are
Now
you
they're gonna have
go?
a sub going down to go visit that sub.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, round 3 is coming here.
It's-
I cannot wait for that.
well, apparently the sub had hardware issues since 2018 that hadn't been addressed. So
no way.
Yeah, people were saying it was a death trap.
Yeah, a bunch of people were saying like, "Don't go on this. This is not something that you want to do." Like.
I mean, the CEO of the company trusted it a
Yeah.
little bit too much.
my
It turns
God.
A
out.
little bit too much.
That's crazy, dude. But that's like that's a perfect end to the story, I would say. Like obviously super morbid, but like
That's really
the
morbid.
CEO of the company that was like, "Oh, I think this thing's quite safe."
Yeah.
He goes on
Yeah.
and
PlayStation 2 controller.
Oh my god, dude.
If
That's
I got in
that's
a sub,
terrible. Nature has a strange way of working
Yeah, there
itself
was
out.
so there was like a millionaire, and his son, the CEO, and maybe one other person.
Yeah, because there were 5.
There was
I
the
believe.
controller, the driver of the thing.
There was the controller.
by that he means an 8-year-old child.
Oh my god. That's
Somebody's
so
got
got to
this
know
thing.
about that Bluetooth. Those
Someone's gotta.
Good lord. That's actually a
Not
ridiculous
even like just
situation.
Bluetooth. That's like Bluetooth
So
like
wait,
4.
I saw a picture of it. They put like cones on the joysticks to where you could have more finesse.
They had more leverage.
yeah.
They were
It's
getting
like
their scuff
it was like
attachments.
joystick risers, pretty much.
Oh my god. They got their programmer scuff attachments for their
We need to find out whether or not
They
this thing was
phased
wired
up,
or
dude.
wireless because this is important.
They phased up on that thing.
Look, if it was wireless, we know what went
Yeah,
wrong.
we
with
know
it.
exactly
Yeah.
what went wrong.
They were
Bluetooth. The Bluetooth controller.
I guarantee you that the lawyer team advised them not to say anything because they might get in trouble with Logitech, you know?
Was it actually Logitech? Because I heard it was a PlayStation controller.
No, it was a Logitech off-brand PlayStation controller.
Third-party PlayStation 2
horrible.
controller.
Yeah.
Oh my
A
god.
third-party Bluetooth.
Dude, you know we had
PlayStation
one of
2
those.
controller.
We still do have one of those. Matter of fact, I think there's
Yeah,
one
we've
right
got
here.
the wired PS2
We got the
ones,
controller.
yeah. We don't have the wireless ones though.
I'm just finding PlayStation 2 right now.
This is yeah, but so apparently it also had like a button though. It had one button and the PlayStation thing.
I found it, boys.
What was the one
I
button?
found it.
I don't know. Probably nothing useful. Seeing as it's just
Is that it?
Is this?
No way.
Would you
It's
not
time
do
to
it?
go drive a submarine,
We do have a
gentlemen.
wireless one of those.
No way.
It's
Yeah.
time to go drive the
Do
submarine.
you think it's in here?
So
It
yeah,
may
this
be.
is an antique.
Dude, that's what we used to play that Middle Earth game way back in the day.
No, with these sticks.
Heck yes, sir.
Those are the cheapest sticks I've touched, I think, in my whole life.
Yes. No, so that was we played. There was some
This whole
Lord of the
thing
Rings:
costs
Return
like
of the King
$5.
was the game.
Probably costs $1 to
Yes,
make, man.
this is
The
like
thing-
$1 for
Bro,
sure.
how many millions of dollars would that sub, and they couldn't
crazy.
actually spend any money on the.
On a
Now we're out here
reasonable
using
controller.
this
Yeah,
doggone
exactly.
controller.
Not even a controller. They should have had, like, cluster controls.
Dude, no,
Cluster
they
controls,
should have
one of
had like
those,
an
one of
actual cockpit type thing
Exactly.
going on there.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a plane? Yeah, they are not using Xbox or PlayStation controllers, dog.
Well-
Come on.
Well, clearly you haven't played Flight Sim.
Yeah, apparently.
Because
dude.
that's what I've been practicing on, you know?
You know what's crazy too, though?
Save space because it's underwater and the pressure.
Yeah, well, apparently they had no space for that Bluetooth.
Yeah, dude, come on. That's ridiculous. That's just, dude. If I pulled up and saw
What if
that,
someone,
there's no
like-
shot I would go on that.
What if
Yeah.
somebody accidentally, like, connected to it with their phone or something? It's just,
Imagine
just
that.
yoinks the
They're-
connection.
they tell them to turn on airplane mode, and they don't turn on airplane mode.
Yeah, the fact they forgot the airplane
No.
mode.
Dude, another
causes
thing is
interference.
that could have been corporate espionage.
No.
Oh, I never even thought about that.
Because, I mean, it was a billionaire, a CEO, millionaire. I mean, they're all high profiles.
I guess it would be worthy of looking into of like had they done anything, or like
Assassination.
had they been involved in some controversial thing. Because like
No.
if it's just some rich people, then why would
Dude,
you?
you don't get that rich without doing something dirty.
I don't know about something dirty, but like definitely nobody. There are definitely some people that don't like something that you did or do.
Yeah.
You can definitely become a millionaire without being dirty.
Without being dirty,
Yeah.
but you're still going to rub some heads the wrong way, dude.
Even people that are
there's no-
envious.
What do
of
you
your
mean by,
success.
like,
There
rub
is
some heads the
no
wrong
one
way?
that is a millionaire that has a completely spotless reputation.
There's nobody that has a completely spotless reputation.
Bottom line.
Next
That's
question.
true.
Next
It's
question.
It's true.
Yeah.
But you.
But
look,
the point is, like, to get that money, they were stepping on people.
Yeah, but like, I don't really know.
no.
Do
that-
you
I think-
have to step on people to make money?
Yeah. Look,
yes,
I was gonna
yes,
say
you do,
no. You
because
don't.
In America,
No,
we
you
have
don't.
competition.
No, you don't, because look, there are businesses you can build, such as like Apple with the iPhone. You don't have to step on people. Like there's competitors that are building their product. Okay, sure, they're gonna be pissed. I don't think stepping on people is the right word.
Well, that's a big example. Like a
always gonna
millionaire
be-
is not hard. It's not hard
Yeah,
to
it's
be a
not hard to make
millionaire
$1
at
million
all.
dollars.
Okay, let's
At
use my
all.
dad as an example. He was working in an office job. Every time he got promoted, he beat out other people for that promotion. He always has to go over somebody else to get what he wants.
Yeah, but
Okay,
is there
yeah.
anything wrong with that?
That's
but
fair.
that's exactly the point that I'm making, though. Is
What?
in America we have competition.
So you're just saying
Wait.
you're not saying there's anything wrong with it, but you're saying that no matter what, you're gonna have to just get higher than other people in order to have
So you're saying
a
that
certain level of
to
success.
have a certain exactly.
in order to
Yeah, that makes
advance,
perfect
you have
sense.
to do better than other people?
Yeah,
That's literally
That's
what
like
it is.
that's like the definition, dog.
Yeah.
I mean, in communism, you just have friends in high places.
Oh, 'cause that's better.
What are high places exactly?
In the government, the ones
government,
who are
yeah.
controlling everything.
Just in the
yeah.
In the
government.
bureaucracy.
I mean, we kind of already
hate
have
that.
that. I mean, what the hell is our government?
Mhm.
Facts.
Because it ain't a
Lobbying.
democracy.
I mean, at this point, literally, it's just lobbying. Lobbying is quite honestly first world extortion.
yeah,
It's like, I was in Mexico.
it
So,
needs
like-
to be illegal to make money while doing politics.
I agree. Make money apart from politics while doing politics.
Well,
what
like,
gets
they
me
should
is
have a
those
stipend and make their money. Yeah, but you can't be having investments.
You can't be making
You can't.
What you doing?
You can't invest in a freaking company and then go make policies that screws over their competitors.
Dude.
All right, that's not how this works.
So there are laws against that.
Yeah,
I saw something that said Nancy
They do it.
They do
Pelosi
it.
was
But
one of the
it's
most
illegal.
successful traders of all time. Like Nancy Pelosi's portfolio is 10 times better than Warren Buffett's year over year. Like, it's ridiculous, dude. She's just insane at playing the stock market somehow. But really the reality is, after you go to a press conference, you go outside, you see all these senators on their phones. They're talking to their stockbrokers.
they're
Straight up, they're talking to their brokerage
buy,
firms.
buy, sell.
And, a lot of these phone calls, there was a scandal a couple years back where the phone call was actually recorded. Somebody got, footage, they were recording next to it or something right after the meeting. And when word got out about, what the meeting was about later on, when policy was made, then people saw that video and cross-referenced the fact that somebody literally left the meeting and immediately hopped on a call with their broker to move funds.
Insider trading. That's what the
what
law
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're all doing it.
They're all doing it. Yeah. Because it's so hard to monitor that. If you've got 5 different shell companies all doing different things under different names, and they're all registered in the Maldives where you don't have to put your name on it, you have so many layers of security from getting it traced back to you.
But then the question is, do you
it.
really want monitoring on that?
What do you mean?
I mean, do you want
government officials?
an agency to monitor the government?
Yes, government officials need to be monitored, of course.
Then who monitors the monitors?
That's also the good question, because obviously the government would have to do it. There's, what it comes down to is really, you can either have a state where every single person is monitored and you have a kind of collective happiness and peace in the fact that every single person is monitored. And you can go look at what anybody in the world is doing at any point in time, and anybody can look at you and at what you're doing at any point in time. And just by virtue of the fact that everyone knows what everybody's doing, nobody does wrong. Or there's the opposite, where it's a potential for everyone to just do wrong, where you're not monitoring everyone, but you have complete privacy. And there's somewhere in the middle where you have to meet, where you have some level of privacy, but you also have the, I would say, the safety afforded by the monitoring. So that's where the 2001 Patriot Act came in. You remember after 9/11, everyone was like, we need more monitoring. We need to make sure we can find these terrorists before they come and strike.
And now all they have to do is say, hey, you're a terrorist, and you can be locked up in prison forever without a trial.
Yeah, but not only that. What I'm really getting at is the massive surveillance that goes on under that. Yep. And some might say it's illegal. Some might say it's necessary for our safety. But the bottom line is, you are trying to be safe by giving up your privacies. And that's a balance that you just have to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much freedom do we really need versus privacy?
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. And for every individual, that's different. And that's why some people don't download Facebook. That's why some people don't use Facebook Messenger and give their voice data away. There's just a lot of things that you can do to control it. However,
I will say, though, America was built on the premise of freedom, not on government being able to look into what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I think we should always err on the side of privacy.
Mm-hmm.
However, for government officials, I think we should definitely have a closer look at
part of being a government official inherently is you are a leader of this country. So the country should be watching you.
Yeah, now what does that entail? Because like you said, yes, it would be another governmental agency to monitor the government. But I think when it comes down to it, if the president is the one monitoring that governmental agency, and then that governmental agency is monitoring Congress and the Senate, then I think that's a decent system of checks and balances to where maybe the president is getting money one way or another. Doesn't matter, though. He can't ultimately do anything without the Congress and the Senate.
So I've been thinking about this for a long time. What is one of the biggest barriers for getting into politics?
Money.
Money. Is
Of
the
course.
biggest one.
Money.
Because you got to
money.
campaign.
And
Oh, it
that's
takes
where
so
a
much
lot of
money.
these issues prop up, is that a lot of these people get companies to make the money to be able to campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once they have their company, might as well just keep it because they earn income while they're in office.
Yeah. And I was going to say, the thing about Donald Trump that I found attractive in the 2016 election, I guess it was the fact that he was independently wealthy.
So long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so long ago now. I can't believe we still talk about this guy. He was so divisive for the nation. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But what I found so attractive about that was he was independently wealthy, so I knew he didn't need money from lobbyists.
Mm-hmm.
And so he could actually have his own agenda that was best for the country. Like my idea was he could want to make himself famous off of being the best president we've ever had, rather than just make money because he was playing into the hand of the lobbyists.
Yeah.
So that was my mindset in the 2016 election. So I was like kind of interested to see what would happen. Now, obviously, he didn't end up doing that much for us.
Yeah.
But I think
very clearly people just wanted not Trump.
I think if we look to a lot more like independently wealthy folks to lead, the job will be done a little better. The problem is how many people that are independently wealthy want to actually lead and take on this role.
Or
I think
as
the
a country
best
leader.
people to run our country are the people who don't want to be president.
Exactly. I was going to say that. How many people that don't want to be president would be the best candidate for president?
Or
Tons.
have a government network, and that's the only place where people can campaign.
What do you mean?
So where it's all funded by taxes.
But
I don't
how
want
can
my
somebody-
taxes funded
So that
that
means
guy's
that
campaign.
literally everyone is funded equally.
How can somebody get into that pool, though?
Yeah. How do you get into that pool?
You would obviously have to apply to run for election.
What if like a million idiots apply? Do you
Then
have the money
A million
to-
idiots are getting coverage.
But
I mean, obviously there has to be a limit.
How?
Like there has to be a limit.
Yes.
you know, like how would you
With
choose
the
who's
current-
the idiot who's not getting coverage
With the
and who's the
current
idiot who is?
system, the party puts forth the representatives.
Yeah, but that's dumb anyways.
I think that part is not bad because it controls who can actually be president.
Yeah, but like whenever you look at like the options for like voting who's president, you're like, I gotta choose out of these guys. Like this is the best we could come up with out of 330 million people. These two idiots. These two.
All I'm saying is that's who got voted in the primaries.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think like you said, what it comes back down to is the people that are going to be best candidates for presidents are never going to run.
I'm never gonna run because why would you want to be president?
Yeah,
It's the worst job in
dude,
the world.
I would never want to be president, and like I said, especially if I was independently wealthy, I want to be doggone sunbathing in Spain. What do I want to do in the Oval Office, making hard decisions, literally getting gray hair on my head? I don't want that at all.
So
half the country just inherently hates everything you do.
Exactly.
We get a government news agency. Not news that covers like news. I don't want government control news.
We
But I
don't
want
no
like
government news.
like a government, I guess, network that only focuses on elections, and that's the only place where people can campaign. That means we don't get all those people running around door to door. We don't get all the flyers. We don't get all the billboards. No commercials. So people would actually have a greater opportunity to question their candidates.
But nobody would know anything about the candidates, dude.
Now, you know what's really stupid? The fact that they're not going to let Biden do debates before the primaries.
How?
He is very simply not debating. That's where we are as a country, where we're just not going to talk about things.
Whoa!
We're just going to dig our feet in the sand like like friggin' ostriches or stick our heads in the sand and be like,
What?
no, we're just gonna hold
No.
to
You know what
ideas."
that tells me? That tells me he's inept.
Yeah, I mean,
He-
obviously.
he can't.
He can't adequately conduct
because
himself.
Robert Kennedy's gonna kick his ass. He's gonna roast his ass. He's gonna go up there on stage. He's gonna
anybody
sizzle
could
him.
kick his ass. He's an
Yeah.
old man.
Yeah, he's a dumb old man.
To be honest,
He's literally
to be
retarded.
honest, Trump kicked his ass. He just didn't win because everyone just hated him. Like, oh, we
Yeah.
don't like Trump.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I
he
think
did
a
so
lot of
many
people-
things that were like he ran his mouth just
Yeah.
frankly way too much.
His mouth was too big.
I think a lot of people were hoping that Biden would be like Obama.
How so?
Well, but they just thought that, it would just be like having another Obama in office.
Yeah.
But it's clearly not.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
well,
facts
Obama
prove
could actually string a sentence together.
Obama did a good job, except with healthcare.
Yeah, he was,
Which is
Yeah.
kind of sad. So the one thing, like his legacy, what he wanted was socialized medicine.
what was
And that's
his
like
worst-
Obamacare. Obviously, there's nothing called Obamacare, but his whole plan that we now call Obamacare, his whole plan to revamp healthcare was
The Affordable Care Act.
a major mistake in terms of policy and legislation. But I think he was just trying to make a mark, and that was how he thought he was going to do it.
Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with the healthcare system. And I think
Why do we
that's sort
call
of the
that
issue.
his plan?
His plan, because that
It
was the
wasn't.
platform he ran on. His whole platform, or a lot of his platform, was like, I'm going to revise healthcare for the lower middle class.
But at the end of the day, he's not writing that policy. He only has to sign off on it at the end.
Yeah,
Of
well, that's
course.
just
yeah,
how these
but they
things
always
work.
call it, like, why is it FDR's New Deal? FDR
Yeah, that's
did
true.
nothing other than sign it, dude. Like, these people don't come up with the plans. They've got a team of 100 or 1,000 people behind them that are all putting their heads together for copious hours writing
Yeah.
these documents.
For
So at
writing
the end
these
of the day, we
ridiculously long
should
documents.
instead say that that's the Democrats' failed health plan.
What?
Am I right?
Oh my God.
But
the
We're on
the
Fox
the
News right now.
Democrats failed New Deal.
Oh my
You know?
God. Thank you so much.
Fox
Tucker
News pop-ups.
Carlson.
Fox News pop-ups coming up.
Literally, bro.
This is Tucker Carlson.
Oh, this is Tucker Carlson tonight.
Oh no, he got fired.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he actually got fired.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he moved to a YouTube podcast.
It's actually good though because now you can not be crazy and read off a teleprompter. Because the job of being a news reporter is really weird. You're the guy that gives you the news.
You
I'm
don't
here.
actually do anything other than just read the words.
I'm
off
John
of a
here on HFXY 69 NBC, and I'm here to give you this evening's news. Putin is responding to
Yeah.
as a news reporter, they don't know anything.
No.
They know nothing more than you. That they talk like they act like they know what's going on, and they have opinions, and then they read off a teleprompter.
But they don't
News
have any of those
reporter.
opinions or anything. Anyway, they're literally just reading.
Well, no,
Like, their
because
job is to
every
read.
so often they give them 2 minutes of here, you can have an opinion for 2 minutes.
Ad-libbing time,
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
yeah.
Their own opinion, though?
Mm-hmm.
I've
Yeah.
never seen that.
Maybe.
Dalen, have you never seen during chases, car chases, when they're filming it, how the news guys are
Oh,
always
yeah, they're
talking in the
commenting.
background, they're commenting?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have seen that, of course.
Mhm.
But Tucker Carlson tonight, his show, I always thought of it as just a straight teleprompter thing.
yeah, curated completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure most of that was still.
Yeah, but nowadays I think he's more or
that's
less doing the
all
same
news
thing.
networks, though.
He's on Rumble now.
What is Rumble?
Actually, now it's different. Now he actually sits down and has long form conversations with people who have opposing ideas.
Oh, that's kind of sick.
Yeah, because he's not reading off a friggin' teleprompter in the stupid old format called television.
Yeah, facts. That
Well,
you
you
have to
have
pay
ads that-
$50 a month for through your DirecTV cable package.
when you have ads that interrupt you every 4
oh
minutes.
my God.
I want
I
a
hate it.
Jeremy
You gotta set your
Clarkson show.
DVR and
I would love a Jeremy Clarkson show too.
That would be so great. Could you imagine that?
Incredible.
Honestly, I just want Top Gear back. Like the girl
Yeah.
on Top Gear. That was
Yeah.
a great TV show. I love watching those old episodes. I'm like, The good old days.
Clarkson,
when life was easy.
James May, Richard Hammond.
Dude, so nobody in the world has ever done better specials than those three guys. The specials they do
the
are
Burma
ridiculous.
special, yeah.
The Christmas special, you remember that one?
Yeah.
They're like, we are traveling to Jerusalem to find the baby
that
Jesus.
was a great one.
It's so funny, dude.
I mean, just the random stuff that
those
they
guys,
did too.
they're so creative, dude.
There was that one where they got the
Flips all over the
trebuchet
place.
and they tried to launch.
Oh, yes.
And
they sent it, man.
Yeah, they tried to launch a car over the channel.
Oh my gosh, I never saw that.
You never saw that?
No, I remember the one where they had the
hold up. They did a
Yeah.
cutaway at the end of it where they saw a car go flying into a French house.
No,
It was not real.
yeah.
But it was
The
pretty
editing on
funny.
that show is
Yeah.
great. But I remember watching one where it's like this massive APC type thing, this beast of a vehicle that could like deflate its tires, go through rivers and
Yeah.
I
things
know
like
exactly
that.
what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was that versus this Range Rover that could also like go through rivers and shit like that. Yeah, so it was a race between the two of them.
Was it? It was
Where-
a Land Cruiser, wasn't it? With the top part that came up.
The snorkel. Yeah.
The
I don't think it was. I don't know if it was a Land Cruiser.
Has a snorkel.
Yeah.
Well,
That's crazy.
I don't know. If it
No,
was
that's
a Land
literally what they
Cruiser.
call it because it pulls air in from up top instead of through the front.
Or that might be the exhaust too. I don't know.
I think you could do
They
both.
don't. You don't have to put exhaust up over top like that
Why exhaust would you be going into the water?
Oh yeah, you could just exhaust in the water.
because
I
there's
guess.
enough pressure to be able to push it out.
It's already getting in the water, man. You put it in the air, it gets in the
Yeah.
rain, comes back down.
But the intake is the most important. Obviously, you don't want to be taking in a bunch of water.
Yeah, no way.
It is very hard to just
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I remember that special. That was super good. But they just had hella great specials, dude.
Yeah.
The good old days.
Just so funny. There was
Yeah.
that one where they were like crossing that rickety old bridge.
I don't remember that
You don't
one.
remember that?
No.
And then
Was that part of the Burma special?
I think it was, yeah.
Okay, that was a great.
They got like
special.
stranded. It was like muddy all over the place.
Oh yeah, I remember this one.
Yeah,
I remember that
and they
one.
had to like go over that rickety
I
old
remember.
bridge.
I think there was something where like there were two ways they could do it. Either they could wait and construct this bridge, or they could go around. I remember, but it was like super muddy, so they constructed the bridge instead.
Yeah.
Something like that. I remember this one too. Might have been part of the same Burma special where they had these logs behind their car, following their cars.
Oh,
yes.
no.
Sometimes my G.
Yeah,
It was
so-
Jeremy Clarkson's
yeah.
brakes went out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I'm a genius.
I'm a
It
genius.
was like,
And then,
it was like
tied the
sometimes
log.
my genius is like so good it's like frightening or something.
Yeah,
and, then,
yeah.
and then he like gets in the car and you see the log just go boom,
The
boom,
log
boom,
goes
and then just
flying
smash out the
through
back
the
windshield.
windshield.
Y'all have seen the
Sometimes
exact.
you can't
Sometimes.
pull an object behind it, it's just gonna bounce.
Oh
and
my
it's-
gosh, it's so funny.
Sometimes my genius is so incredible, it's frightening.
It's something like that, yeah. Then it cracks out
Dude,
the
I
windshield.
love the way that show is edited. It's so good. I take notes on that
It's
show.
comedy, man. It's
It's pure comedy.
Yeah.
Man, well, we've been going for an hour, so
Has it really been an
Yeah.
hour?
is there anything you want to plug real quick before we get out of here?
Anything I want to plug?
Yeah, like your ears.
No. This is great.
Why'd you say it like that? Oh
don't
my
know.
god, why'd you say it like that? No. Boy.
I don't know. German's told me to cover my ears.
He said, no, I said, is there anything you want to plug? And Gurman was like your ears.
Yeah, exactly.
You said no?
No.
Oh, man. All right, well, I guess I'll go ahead and plug our Instagram at The Minimum Wage Pod.
Yeah, check out our Clips channel at MWP Clips.
And without further ado, this has been
The Minimum Wage Podcast.
Where Even the Name is Above Our Pay Grade. Peace. Dude.